Let's try doing a few things with this. Describe changes that occur under conditions, okay, based on this reaction. They're going to cool the mixture and the water vapor is going to end up condensing. So if temperature went down, that means the water vapor, which was gas, is going to turn into water as a liquid. Oh, remember, the liquid doesn't contribute to the expression. So that means that this value has gone down, and it was a product in our equation. So the amount of water vapor has gone down. That's like taking the bucket of water out, right? So that's going to force the whole thing to move to the right in order to try to make up the fact that we've lost some of this water vapor. As a result, we're going to end up with more of the other product, the sulfur dioxide, because this is moving to the right. We had removed some of this. These are going to end up going down. This will be partially restored, and this, well, we didn't remove any, so now there is more of it than there was. The sulfur dioxide gas can dissolve in the liquid water. So that's another one that's over here on the right. Since the SO2 as a gas is becoming SO2 aqueous, the amount as a gas is going down. So that's like removing product again, right? Thing will shift to the right again. And that will now increase the amount of H2O gas. We've managed to convince this without adding anything more to create more of these by messing with the conditions. We cooled it, and then this dissolved, and it made this whole thing, both of those made it shift more to the right. These are the type of clever manipulations that a chemical engineer will do to make things more efficient. More O2 is added. If you're going to dump a bunch in here, it's going to say, oh, I need to use that up. So if I'm adding O2 gas, that's going up. The reaction is, oh, I need to try to use it up. So boom, it's going to go that way. Now, additionally, if you added more O2, you're increasing the pressure, and that's going to drive it more to the side that has fewer gas molecules as well. 2 and 3, that's 5 on this side. 2 and 2 is 4 on this side. So this is sort of a twofer in that you are both increasing the amount of the reactant and also increasing the pressure, which, because there is a delta N for this equation, means that it will have a response. So sometimes things have more than one effect that they could have as well. But in general, everything that we did meant, hey, I'm making more products. Products are up. And this is the sort of thing that a chemical engineer would do to try to make a process more efficient. Changes in the pressure and the volume will affect Q sub P if delta N is non-zero. So anytime we have a reaction that has gases, we're going to have the gas laws. And if you can change the pressure by changing the volume, because if you make the volume less, that will increase the pressure. If a mixture then is compressed into a volume half of the original, the partial pressures of all the gases will increase, because that's the whole thing. If I keep T constant, PV is going to be a constant. So we'll end up compressing the volume, making the volume smaller, increases the pressure. And if we compress it, the equilibrium is going to shift to the side with fewer moles of gas. It is a very important way of making things happen. If you can change the pressure and there's a delta N involved, you can definitely shift the equilibrium.